Good morning, you beautiful people. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. Today I want to talk about the advanced movement Call of Duty has implemented for the now past 3 years, including Infinite Warfare. I was going to do a pro versus con video on this, comparing boots on the ground and advanced movement, whether that's Advanced Warfare advanced movement with the exosuits or just the thrust jumping that we have in Black Ops 3, and it looks like we might have in Infinite Warfare. However, there was really only one pro or con, if you want to look at it that way, for each of the types of movement, really. The pro is going to be in the advanced movement section, and that's going to be an increased strategy in your movement. Because it is more complex, because it is more layered, you get a little bit more strategy out of it, and ideally you would get a skill gap out of it. And to a certain extent, this is the case with Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3. Though don't get me wrong, these are not tactical games or skillful games, these are very much arcade games. However, to the basic head-on-head gunfights, there is the potential to have more skill there. However, when trying to articulate all of this, I came up with a phrase or a statement. The strategy developers are attempting to implement through advanced movement can be found with boots on the ground gameplay and complex maps. Let me say that again. The strategy developers are attempting to implement through advanced movement can be found with boots on the ground gameplay and complex maps. What do I mean by this? Look at Black Ops 3. Think about all of the clever wall running areas. Think about all of the different areas we can go where you can wall run. Imagine those places as if they were extra routes on the map with boots on the ground. Imagine they were actual like stuff you can walk on with cover and stuff. Imagine that was true. Do you see how much bigger and more complex these maps would actually get, and how much more fun these maps would actually get? The downside of wall running and thrusting up everywhere is that there's no cover. It is a chain-based movement system. You have to constantly be moving, which means you're not really in cover when you're doing any of these things. Evac is a fantastic example. When you're going on the outside of buildings, when you're going in between buildings, you can't just like stop and have a gunfight there. On the side of Combine, you can't stop and take cover on that big wall right there. You're wall running. You're out in the open with no cover. On Breach, when you're going on the outside of that right side of the map, it doesn't really matter if you're wall running on that one corner or if you're walking through that doorway. It doesn't matter. And even when you're wall running, you don't have cover, so it's almost easier for people to shoot you down. Whereas if these routes, if these wall running spots were routes with cover and pieces of environment for you to hide behind and maneuver in such a way that you can create maybe closer ranged gunfights if you're shotgunning, or maybe stretch out those long lines of sight for sniper gameplays or whatever. I wanted to put out a video saying, you know what, maybe Infinite Warfare, maybe Infinity Ward will do complex maps correctly. Maybe they will do wall running and thrust jumping justice in this game. And don't get me wrong, they still have the potential to do so. However, going back and playing Call of Duty Ghosts, and you recently saw a Modern Warfare 3 video, that is where strategy is. I mean, the movement in that game is so much more beautiful, and it's so much more complex than the thing we have now in Black Ops 3, where it's simple 3-lane maps. And the maps do have a large part or large hand in this, but when you're just thrust jumping up in the air and it's just so unoriginal and it's so gimmicky, it doesn't feel layered, it doesn't feel beautiful like these other games do. I mean, you watch somebody run and maneuver a map in Modern Warfare 2, it can be so different. And at the end of the day, I would kill to have boots on the ground again. I really would. And I really do appreciate the advanced movement, but it doesn't quite work. No one's gotten it to work yet. Infinity Ward may get it to work. I have my high doubts, but I want boots on the ground again. And I think at the end of the day, that's kind of the decision that I've come to. But I feel better knowing that I have some proof, I have some evidence to say, here's a game with boots on the ground that has more complex strategic movement than a game that has supposedly strategic movement. And I think at this point, you guys get the point. And I think you guys are all on board with me as well. A lot of you beautiful people here that love Call of Duty Ghosts. We might be actually exploring that more, and I think that's something that I would like to do. And I think it's something you guys would like to see as well. But anyway, that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until the next absolutely beautiful Call of Duty morning, I'll catch up with you guys later. And as always, stay beautiful.
Friendly SATCOM active. Friendly Trinity rocket inbound.